folks. Dow Industrials up 12, NASDAQ up 34, S&P's up 4. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Jack Gleason, as we do each and every Thursday at 40 past the hour. And we got him live from Costa Rica. Every trading day, though, no matter where Jack is in the world, folks, you can find him right at MajorLeagueTrading.com. Jack Gleason, what's going on? Oh, look at this. Now you're really getting local over there, man. That's a beautiful thing. I love that hat, man.
Oh, too funny. So I missed you guys last week. I was traveling to Panama. So my girlfriend and I had to do a visa run. So I can only be here for 90 days, and then you got to leave the country. So my girlfriend booked a trip to Panama. I didn't do any of the research. She did all of the research. So I had no idea what to expect. But this is a Panama hat, so I figured I'd bring it on air here to show you guys. But
and how was Panama?
Oh, absolutely unbelievable. The food was incredible. The prices were totally unreasonable. I stayed in the middle. The Pope was there, so I didn't know the Pope was coming. So then, it became complete chaos.
He was there to bless you. You need a blessing, man.
I already got a few of those. But yeah, it was an awesome trip. I recommend it. If you guys ever get a chance to go to Panama, check out Panama Viejo, or Casco Viejo, which is like the old town. Like basically, it was like started in like the 1600s. It's the oldest settlement in the Americas. So you have agriculture, there's food, obviously, or I should say architecture, culture, food. It's relatively cheap and it's extremely safe. So I love it.
Yeah, I heard it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Man. Yeah, I know.
It was so sick.
So, market-wise, what are we looking at here, Jack?
So I sent you guys over a couple of different charts. One of them being the S&P 500. So we can go ahead and start with that.
We got it up. Go for it, man.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we're sitting right now. We just retested, actually just shorted 26.47s, but we're sitting on a 50% retracement from. So last week we closed out at the highs, and then we had the gap down. Monday markets were closed, and then the high of last week on Friday to what was the Tuesday low, that 50% retracement got rejected yesterday. The level is exactly 26.47, but as long as we stay below that yellow line, which right now is 26.54, that's the 61.8 that I consider that draw valid. So today we had a second test of 26.47, and you can see sellers reappeared at that level. We're trading off about 7 points from that level. What I'm looking for us to actually do is just trade back to lower levels of support. I do eventually expect us to get back down to a retest of 2600, and the only other support level I have before that, that's primary support, is a 2618. So those are the two levels I'm looking at. And if we continue to stay below that 2654 level, we'll make our way down towards there. So, we've had a little bit more of a consolidation this week so far. There was 11 days in a row where the low of the day was in the first 2 hours. So there was that entire rally, the first hour or the second hour was the low of the day. That trend, quote unquote, did not hold on Tuesday because the low of the day was in the second to last hour. And then yesterday, the low of the day was in the third hour. So there isn't the strength that we saw in that initial rally. And I think we're having a little more of a consolidation here developing in the S&P 500 than what we saw out of that initial kind of easy buy. So that's what I have for the S&P.
Nice. And we have gold. So talk to us about gold.
So gold, we had that breakdown. I think that was Friday. It was I think it was the day I was traveling. It was Friday. So I do think gold's obviously in the lower end of the range. It broke out of that, call it a triangle consolidation on Friday. And what I want to see is a lower test of the 1273 level. This goes back to a high-to-high Fibonacci extension series. And so that 38% retracement is what initially held at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
But I want to see, and you can see that bid. I think that was on like the third or the fourth of the year. We got a bid directly off that 38% retracement. Now, since we've broken below that level, I want to see us test the 50% retracement. And since we've already had a reaction off the 38.2, I really want to respect that 50, and that's down at 12, like I said, 1273.2. So I'm marking that up. That's a daily chart you see that I've shared with you, and that's the level I got right now in gold.
Yeah, we got some good volatility in these markets, man. There's no doubt. I mean, those currencies this morning were moving. The dollar was moving like beyond belief, and it hasn't stopped. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting. I haven't been following Forex too much this year so far. Like typically, Forex is a market I go to when the indexes get dead, but the indexes haven't been dead lately.
Right.
So I've just been focusing more on the indexes. But it's it's a trader's market. Trends are turning on a dime.
Yes.
And it's really an opportunity. You can't have a bias here. More than it was really easy to have a bias for 9 years, but you can't have a bias anymore.
Right. Yeah, which is pretty cool because, folks, if you use those fib numbers, it seems that and we've said this before, when you get volatility, these fib numbers seem to hit a lot more consistency.
Well, you need retracements to trade retracements, right?
Yeah,
I mean, seriously,
right.
not to joke,
Right.
but
Just back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Until
I mean, that's totally true, though. I mean, without volatility, the Fibonacci sequences are not going to work as well because, like you said, you need retracements to have retracements, and it's like the computer program turn off. I completely change my strategy when I'm trading a dull market to just retesting ranges and looking for very smaller time frames. But when you have these trends, it's a much clearer picture, and you see the reactions to the tick. So to me, there's computer programs behind them once you understand how they're drawn.
Sure, which makes sense because that's the fib numbers in general are very easy to compute.
simple math, right?
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly.
Simple math. It's natural math, right?
Yeah,
right.
Shells at the beach, they all got fib numbers, right?
You got it,
They
man.
do, man. They do. They do.
Panamanian hat's got some fib numbers hand woven here, guys.
There we go, man.
That's wild. Hey, so now are you an hour or two ahead of us? What time is it there right now?
Well, I'm Chicago time. I was in Panama. That's East Coast time. I actually got my parents in town right now.
Okay.
Nice.
I brought them back from San Jose last night, so they're staying with me on their own vacation. But going fishing later today. I'll have to bring up some photos next Thursday.
Oh, awesome, man.
Totally.
And what's the temperature right now?
Right now it's 87 degrees.
Oh, so
I think there's like a snowstorm in Chicago right now. So my parents are happy to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
That's the perfect time of the year, January.
Oh yeah,
Seriously.
It's hard to comprehend that it's 87, and you're not that far away from Chicago, really. You
just keep going south.
Right.
Keep going south.
Gotta love it.
Cool.
Well, listen, man, you have a great week, safe week. Catch some fish out there. And,
Enjoy that beautiful place, man.
Yeah.
Totally.
We look forward to speaking to you next week.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks. And listen, folks, you can reach Jack every trading day. It's majorleaguetrading.com. Market-wise out here, volatility continues. You get the Dow down 24, Nasdaq's up 19, S&Ps are only up 1 right now.
Let's check back in on natural gas real quick.
Oh,
all right?
look at that, look at that.
Yeah,
look at
holding
that.
pretty steady. 306 about, we're sitting there. So again, we were looking at the 310, so you'd be looking at $40 in value. Not a bad move. Not a bad move. It would have covered your premium for the noons at least. Yeah, see what happens. And it's only 10.50.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's a lifetime in the natural gas market.
Seriously.
Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I come right back.